And guys, welcome back to Take One. Today we're going to review Mad Max Furiosa. And with me we have director Christian Fink and Anthony Caban. Gentlemen, thank you so much for showing.
Happy to be here.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So for me, like when I first watched that movie, like for context, I never seen any of the Mad Maxes. No, this is the first time I'm watching something like that. So I got like a whole different kind of experience with that.
Okay.
Me watching that, like one thing I fell in love with that world, right? Because like me not knowing any of the lore, any of the story behind it, it was very interesting to see like the costuming, like even like you have like that guy that's like a business suit with the nipple clamps, and it's like I'm thinking to myself like, what kind of world is this? That wonder with they had like a skull mask, and like it's just you just look at these things and you're like, whoa, like it has to be like definitely it's a post-apocalyptic thing, probably a couple thousand years in the future or something. That's my ballpark guess, I think, but I really enjoyed it. Like I think the acting was phenomenal. Definitely Chris Hemsworth does a really good job because he's very charismatic in that movie.
Love Chris Hemsworth.
I love the action sequences, very entertaining. There were certain aspects of CGI which I didn't really enjoy. That sometimes they'll be like zoomed in and you can clearly see like, well, that's a studio, right? But overall, I think it was a very the story could have been a little tighter, but overall, I thought it was a really good experience. What do you guys thoughts on it?
On first viewing, so I watched Mad Max Fury Road when it came out. I didn't really watch any of the Mad Max movies up until then. I did watch the first Mad Max movie. I wasn't a big fan of the movie. It was too fucking, like, it was too...
You're talking about the original from
yeah. The editing was so fucking shit. Like, it was happening so quick. It was jump cuts. But Mel Gibson actually did a great job playing Max.
He did. And
the action sequences are great, especially, like, the eyeball popping up and the explosion shit. But you couldn't even tell who the hell was dead. And I was like, I didn't know what George Miller was trying to convey or trying to make, but the editing could have used a little bit of improvement. Because, I mean, yeah, it came out in the late 70s. Did you know that the villain in the first one is the guy who played Immortan Joe? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I was like, holy shit, like he looks very different. I love Mad Max Fury Road. I think it's amazing. I do like the first Mad Max movie. I still gotta watch 2 and 3. Furiosa, I was very in the yes, it's good, but I didn't love it. Mm-hmm. I thought it was, it could have been so much better. The storytelling was a little long. It was getting a little boring from time to time. I was confused about the act structure, first act, second act, like the title cards. Mm-hmm. And then the CGI was fucking bad at certain times.
Yeah, sometimes you could clearly see that like you're in a studio.
Yeah,
which is like so wild because when you actually like learn about the post-production and the production in general of Mad Max Fury Road, like how much of it was just like home because it was just George Miller and his wife. His wife's his editor, so it was just like them editing these sequences on a laptop for Fury Road, and it's a great and then. For the CGI and Furiosa to be like that, I don't know. Although there is definitely a lot of like movement happening in the VFX sector of Hollywood. Mm-hmm. A lot of people overworked and underpaid.
Yeah. See,
especially if you're on that time crunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, Furiosa felt rushed.
Yeah.
Like I thought the production time spent on that movie felt like they really didn't take their time. I was very worried about the movie because Charlize Theron's not coming back, but. I thought Furiosa. I watched it 3 more times in theaters, and I thought it was great. I still think the CGI issues are still there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I still think that it is a little, there are aspects of the CGI that kind of feel very like it's noticeable.
Right.
Home video.
Yes.
Yeah. It's very
sometimes it's very noticeable, especially if they do a close up on a person. Yeah. You could really tell.
Like the way, like there's a scene where the guy is like. Guys, if you haven't seen Furiosa, come back to this podcast when you watch the movie. By the way, because I'm about to spoil one little scene.
All right, spoiler and 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so there is an aspect where Furiosa is like shooting, like there's a massive chase scene, and she's basically shooting the one guy that's like flying up. Mm-hmm. The CG, the green screen of that guy, like with the guy with the black mask that looks like a what was it like a horse, like
Yeah.
horns. The CG, the green screen in the background looks so bad, and it reminded me of Black Widow, where Florence Pugh's character is like, "Did we get him or something like that?" Or, I don't know. That movie is so fucking forgettable. I can never watch Black Widow again. I haven't watched it since the day it came out. I thought the amount of blood in that movie, the gore, it looks cartoonish. Like it looks like they edited that shit. Like it didn't like I mean, come on, it's not gonna be practical.
Yeah.
Right.
But they could have done a better job of editing that. And then the ending. When we finally found out how Furiosa's arm got cut out, I was very disappointed in how they did it. Oh, they just he just rammed that car right in her. It was so badly edited, that scene. So yeah. And then we don't find out what happens. You've seen it, the movie?
I've seen like clips. I haven't actually got to see it all.
Oh, you haven't seen Furiosa?
Not the whole way through. I've been keeping up because I've just been busy.
I warned the audience, man.
No. I mean, I'm probably gonna see it eventually.
Okay.
It's just I've been busy with like pre-production for these other.
I
projects.
get it.
Yeah.
I haven't been watching a lot of movies because of planning things for Bromance. So
Yeah.
like, I don't even want to watch. I haven't watched Young Women to see. I heard it's good, but not a lot. But I will watch it, like a $5 ticket thing. I want to. I know A Quiet Place Day 1 and Kinds of Kindness is coming out.
Yep.
But it's the weekend of Bromance, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure no one spoils any of Yorgos Lanthimos' movies, and I don't want to be spoiled with A Quiet Place Day 1.
Right.
I'll probably watch those two after Bromance is wrapped, like
Yeah.
after the 30th, which sucks. But if they do a screening for A Quiet Place before it comes out, before filming day, yeah, I'll go catch an early screening.
I'm like cautiously optimistic for Kinds of Kindness.
Like with the whole thing with to bring it back to
Yeah,
Furiosa.
Furiosa.
Yeah.
I feel like it was a solid action movie at the end of the day. I would personally give it out of 10. I would give it a 7 out of 10.
9.
7? Okay.
On second viewing, and I say this because not a lot of people are supporting that kind of movie. I do love Anya Taylor-Joy as Furiosa. Like,
Right.
I
She
don't
did a
think-
fantastic job.
She did a great job. I don't think the look of she looks nothing like Charlize Theron is going to change the movie because it takes place 15 fucking years before the movie.
Yeah.
Before the movie, so the men that are complaining about it, or everyone, I mean, men and women that are complaining about it, they need to shut the fuck up and just watch the fucking movie, for Christ's sake.
Real.
Chris Hemsworth is like Joker, Heath Ledger Joker in that
Yeah.
movie. Like,
He had a lot of fun on that
He
Yeah.
he is like fucking insane. Like,
I love seeing him in his unhinged
yeah,
era.
like
after
fuck the Marvel stuff. He needs
Yeah.
to be doing like performances like that because Robert Downey Jr. left Marvel and did Oppenheimer, and guess what? The guy won an Oscar for his incredible performance, his narcissistic performance. I love it. And then I'm like, can Hemsworth and Downey Jr. do more of that?
Yes.
Like, I want to see them do
Yes.
more of that. Like, if they do Avengers: Secret Wars, you don't even need Thor and Iron Man. You know, just do it Marvel Ultimate Alliance. You know,
Yeah.
that's what I want to see. Hemsworth reminded me of the performance I saw from Austin Butler in Dune Part 2. He also reminded me of Joker. Both of them are giving Joker kind of performances. They're giving like a Heath Ledger kind of thing. The action sequences are amazing. The music is amazing. The runtime is good. I would have trimmed out maybe 5 minutes of the movie. And then the whole end credits, unnecessary. There is a flaw that I also have. The AI, they used AI on the girl's face to make it look like Furiosa, the young girl. And I was
Really?
like, no.
I have a problem with that when people use, especially when people
Yeah.
use it to bring back like dead actors. I feel like,
Yeah.
in my opinion, I feel that that's incredibly disrespectful.
It's fucked
I
up,
agree.
not to
Yeah.
mention, like, that's a disrespect to the family.
Yeah. Because you have no idea whether that actor would have even wanted to do that movie or not.
Yeah.
To feel like taking something like that, taking his image, I feel like, I don't know, there's no, it's just wrong to me.
I think Christopher Nolan would have been extremely opposed to AI if he was being told to do Batman 4 and then they want to bring Joker back. I think he would have been left immediately.
Yeah.
And he
100%.
would probably sue Warner Brothers and ask them to shut the fucking movie down. Because if I was Nolan and I want and say that The Dark Knight Rises came out now, right? It's about to start pre-production, right? And Warner Brothers asked me, as Nolan, oh hey, we want to put AI on Heath Ledger. Would you like that? I'm out.
Yeah, I would.
I'll walk out because that's disrespectful.
Yeah, and I feel like just that character of Heath Ledger's Joker, I feel like that's a character that like it was perfect. He was used once, and that's all you needed because he like if you overexpose to something, that fear and that mystery kind of dissipates.
Yeah,
like that's a character that definitely needs to have more questions than answers.
Lightning
the
in a
makeup
bottle.
on his face is amazing. I love everything they did on him.
Right.
It was amazing. Heath Ledger he's insane as fuck as Joker, and the way they concluded his character was great, which is why I love performances like that. You know, you're out of the norm, and you're playing something that's like off the rails.
Yeah.
But back to Furiosa, like another flaw I had was that they had actors playing two different people. So the actor who's played it, Morton Joe, also played another guy. And then I was kind of like annoyed by it because it's like, dude, you could have just cast, like, I don't know what George Miller was trying to do. He never did that in Fury Road. Why are you trying to have actors play two different characters? But it was unrecognizable.
Right.
I mean, on multiple viewings, I was like, wow. Okay, so they managed to get away with it. Like, because the makeup and everything.
I honestly didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, it completely took me off guard.
Well, I'll say another thing here. Chris Hemsworth's wife, was it Elsa Pataky or Pataki? She's in the movie too. In the beginning of the movie, where she hands the gun to the woman, and then she comes back in another character as as Dementis's henchman, I think. And I was kind of like, what? Why are you putting? Oh, so if it's a Chris Hemsworth movie, you're gonna put your wife in everything. Like that's the thing that annoys me so much.
Yeah, people just connected with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, because that's your wife. No. Like I don't know. I don't understand that trend. I just don't get it.
I think it's because of social media. It's like, oh, look at like Chris Hemsworth and his wife acting together.
It's very
in a movie.
marketable to do something like that.
If John Krasinski and Emily Blunt did that,
money.
Yeah. I wanted to bring that up because this is like a big blockbuster movie, and it has the action, and it has stuff that like it's very enticing to go see it. Do you feel like due to the streaming services that Netflix and Hulu provide, do you feel like film and like theaters are just dying?
I think the answer is bigger than that. See,
or you think it's more of like a Furiosa problem?
I don't think it's a Furiosa problem.
It's one of them. If I have to be honest with you guys,
I think Furiosa is maybe like 5% of the problem. Like I think like with the attendance to like theaters and everything, it's more of a symptom of like deeper stuff that's going on like in the culture. But then again, also like all these films that are having like their 25th anniversary screenings, their 30th anniversary screenings, they're cleaning house. So it's like that's also an indication of something. It's like
I think it's also
people are
pricing.
lining up.
Yeah, money. Because, like you said, like if people already know, those people that go to like to see the 20th anniversary, let's say like Back to the Future, they already know the product's good.
Yeah,
they just want to re-experience that. But when something like a new movie, you're taking a risk. You're putting in, was it $20, for the ticket and add popcorn and all this. You can run up for $50 sometimes, and like not many people can afford that in this economy. So like I feel that's an also big contributing factor.
that is also something to take into consideration. I think the biggest problem with Furiosa bombing at the box office is you had Garfield. On one hand, you had Garfield opening up that same weekend, which was a bad decision because now Garfield is out there making money. I mean, Furiosa was number one at the box office.
Right.
But then Garfield took that second week.
But don't you feel like two different audiences, though?
Yeah.
How much overlap would you do?
I mean, and that was pretty standard for Memorial Day. Like, because in years past, I watch a lot of Charts with Dan. I don't know if anyone else watches that. It's I highly recommend it. He just breaks down like the box office every week, and he's super reliable. And he did like a chart, and he was showing like Memorial Day weekends of the past, and there was always like a superhero film, a family film, like a drama film, and like some other fourth film, like for a Memorial Day weekend. So it's like you always like, no matter what the family had going on that weekend, there was something in the theater that everybody would want to watch. But yeah, I don't think the audience for Garfield was necessarily overlapping with the audience for Furiosa.
Because Garfield didn't make, Garfield didn't perform strong at all.
No, yeah.
Both movies didn't perform strong.
Yeah, I think Furiosa earned 35, and I think
31,
Garfield, 31, 32.
$26 million, and then Garfield did $24 million.
Oh,
when I
that's
looked
right.
at Box Office Mojo, box office, yeah, I mean, but also a lot of things like I'll keep it as short as I possibly can because I there's the reasons are there. It's just how to word it. You had a number one. You guys are right. It's box office weekend. Number two, streaming. People don't. Also, the Mad Max movies. I mean, people just are mad that the original cast is not in it, and
Yeah.
that's stupid because three of the actors from Fury Road are in Furiosa. Especially Rictus too. Rictus is in that movie as well, and a lot of people just want to see unnecessary IP movies like Fast and the Furious or fucking Marvel or Disney. They want something like that, and it's really sad because originality is good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people are missing out on original movies, and then whenever they can't make the money for original low budget movies, they have to make an original IP movie like Christopher Nolan or Quentin Tarantino. I also think a big portion of it is that you also have too many movies coming out in the summer. May 3rd, you have The Fall Guy?
Yeah.
And then May 10th, you had Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which I didn't like that movie, to be honest.
Oh, I loved it.
I don't get the hype for it. I mean, I got to watch that movie again. I have to watch it again. Maybe I was just in a hurry to get drunk that day or whatever. I need to watch that again because the problem with that movie is that I thought it was generic. It's the same fucking plot as every other Planet of the Apes movies. Not the plot's different. I'm just saying like the style, like the vibe of it.
Oh, yeah.
Because I want to see, I don't know, I want to see something different. I was like, War of the Planet of the Apes ended good. We don't really need another one.
I know, yeah. Like when it came out, it was like, okay, another Apes movie, and then I watched it. I'm like, okay, they earned it. But
That's
yeah,
making money.
like, but yeah, definitely like in terms of like the visuals, there is a lot of
Visuals are
visual
good.
similarity. Yeah,
It's just the screenplay didn't really explode me,
Right.
But the direction was good. Like
the screenplay actually did get me excited.
Yeah.
Because they're definitely setting a lot of stuff up for interesting conflict. I'm like, okay, all right.
Well,
you had there's too many movies coming out
Yeah.
in the summer.
right.
Then, this month we have Bad Boys, Inside Out 2, and In a Quiet Place. There's going to be some box office bombs, unfortunately, with
course,
these big summer
yeah.
movies. Last
Well,
year,
they're all competing for something,
well,
right?
Yeah.
not only that, but last
attention.
year you saw a massive amount of movies that bombed over the summer. Like, for example, you had Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Right.
Lost a lot of money.
Right.
The budget was like about $380 million. The movie barely made around that. And then, with the Barbenheimer hype and, a lot, it took away the other movies from coming out. Like Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning came out a week before the Barbenheimer week. And then guess what? Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning lost a lot of money. It made about $560 million. And apparently that's not a success to Paramount Pictures because their goal is to make $900 million to break even.
Right.
And Flash bombed too, Elemental bombed,
Yeah.
Aquaman bombed, Killers of the Flower Moon. A lot of movies, like, because you have so many that's coming out, it's like you gotta expand it, get a better release date.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, thank you guys so much for showing up. So overall, my final thoughts on Mad Max Furiosa, and I thought it was a great movie. I thought it was if you're looking for an action movie with very interesting lore behind it, it makes you wonder like the culture and basically like what's really going on in this world. It's worth a watch. Like very interesting action sequences, solid acting. I would just say one thing is like some of the CGI not the best, and the writing could have been tighter. I would honestly say 7. Anthony said
It's
9.
9 out of 10. It is one of the best films of the year, and I do think that if you guys are not seeing this in theaters, you're really missing out. It's not making enough money. It's making like $120 million per se. Please go watch it on the big screen. If you love good stuff like that's if you love Chris Hemsworth, if you love Anya Taylor-Joy, if you're a huge fan of George Miller, go watch this on the big screen before they take it out of theaters because they're putting it on streaming on June 25th, and that's a big problem. You can't put streaming movies. You can't set a VOD release date a month after it came out. You gotta let it do its run, let it do its 3-month run, and then you put it in whatever you want to do. I say theaters first, then physical media.
Right.
I think home release should be a year later.
You think so? A year later?
Make them wait.
If a movie comes out in May, I think the Blu-ray release should be September.
Nah.
We're just gonna leave it at. We're not even gonna give you more context on that. Gentlemen, if you have your plugs, put them in right now.
All right. Feel free to follow my Instagram account, _nutcase01 on Instagram, and also Nutcase Films on YouTube and TikTok.
My username on Instagram and TikTok is vintage_Caban.
All right. Guys, thank you so much for showing up and watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye, guys.